being an Israelite doesn't automatically make someone a Jew, and that not every Jew comes from all 12 tribes of Israel. Crazy, right? These two terms, Jew and Israelite, get thrown around like they mean the same thing. But behind them is a story that's thousands of years old, filled with kingdoms, exiles, lost tribes, and divine promises. So today, we're going to unravel it. But before starting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos with your loved ones. You can also drop your interesting ideas for further videos. Are Israelites and Jews the same? Is Israel a person, a people, or a land, you've asked? And today we're diving deep to uncover the truth. Welcome to Deep Bible Stories, where we go beyond the surface to uncover the powerful stories behind Scripture. And trust me, this one's going to shift how you read the Bible. Story begins from Abraham to Israel. Let's rewind all the way back to Abraham, a man called by God to leave everything behind and walk into the unknown. He didn't have a map, but he had a promise that his descendants would become a great nation. Fast forward, and we meet his grandson, Jacob. But Jacob's story takes a dramatic turn. One night he wrestles with an angel, not metaphorically, literally. And after that intense encounter, God changes Jacob's name to Israel, meaning one who wrestles with God. Boom. That's where it all begins. From that moment on, Jacob's sons, 12 of them, become the heads of the 12 tribes of Israel. Their descendants, they're known as Israelites. So far so good, but here's where it gets messy. The Great Split. Kingdoms divide. After King Solomon's reign, the nation of Israel split into two kingdoms. Think of it like a family feud on a massive scale. The north kept the name Israel, home to 10 tribes. The south became Judah, mainly the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. Now pay attention, that southern kingdom. That's where we get the term Jew. Originally, a Jew was just someone from Judah. But over time, especially after the northern kingdom was conquered and scattered by the Assyrians, Jew became the label for anyone from the surviving southern tribes, especially those who clung to the Torah and worshipped at the temple in Jerusalem. So while all Jews were Israelites, not all Israelites were Jews. Let that sink in. Exile and identity. A new kind of faith. Then came Babylon. Around 586 BC, Judah fell. Jerusalem was destroyed, the temple burned. The people were exiled to Babylon. But something incredible happened. Instead of fading away, the people of Judah adapted. They became Jews not just by land or blood, but by faith, culture, and covenant. They built synagogues, studied the Torah, and held tight to traditions like the Sabbath and kosher laws. Even in exile, they didn't forget who they were. It's here that the Jewish identity truly crystallizes, not just as a people, but as a way of life tied to God's law, no matter where they live. The lost tribes and a lasting legacy. Meanwhile, those 10 northern tribes, they were lost, scattered across the Assyrian Empire. Over time, they disappeared into history. These are the 10 lost tribes of Israel. Their mystery still sparks debates, books, even prophecies. But the Jews, those from Judah, carried on. When Persia conquered Babylon, they were allowed to return home. They rebuilt the temple. They renewed their commitment to God's covenant. From then on, Jew became more than tribal. It was about loyalty to God's commandments, no matter where you were from. Israel, then and now. So what about today? Well, when we say Jew, we're talking about a people tied to Judah, yes, but also a people bound by shared faith, history, and covenant. And Israel? That's layered. Historically, it refers to the united 12 tribes. Spiritually, it represents God's chosen people. And politically, it's the modern state of Israel, home to Jews, Muslims, Christians, Druze, and others. Not all Israelis are Jews, and not all Jews live in Israel. Why this matters. But here's the kicker. God's covenant never ended. Throughout Scripture, prophets like Ezekiel and Isaiah talk about a day when all of Israel, yes, even the lost tribes, will be gathered again. Reunited, restored. In Romans 11, Paul reminds us, God hasn't abandoned his promises to Israel. In fact, the entire plan of salvation, through Jesus, flows through this ancient covenant. Gentiles are grafted in, not to replace Israel, but to join in the blessings God gave through Abraham. So when we ask, are Jews and Israelites the same? The answer is layered, historically, not always, culturally, sometimes, spiritually. God sees the whole story, and it's still unfolding, so now you know. It's not just about names or tribes. It's about covenant, identity, and God's unstoppable plan stretching from Abraham to the end of days. If this changed how you see Israel, Jews, and the Bible, drop a like. And if you're curious about the 10 lost tribes, messianic prophecy, or how all this ties into end times events, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, where we turn Scripture into powerful journeys of faith. Thanks for watching, and remember, this story is still being written, and you're part of it.